Well, all right. Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are all doing great. Oh man, it's great to be in front of the camera again. Um, so basically, as you guys can tell, got something really cool here. I got it on Star Wars Day. Boba Fett's helmet. It's the re-armored version, so it's the one from like the TV show, the new show. Um, Although personally, I kind of wanted the Empire Strikes Back one, but that's going for like really expensive right now on like the reseller market. So I was like, hey, this guy's like $50 off. Like I'm gonna get this guy. I don't care if the paint job's not exactly what I want, but it still looks nice, and also it's a bit less battle damaged, a bit less battle worn than the other one was. So, anyways, let's take a quick look, and hopefully I can show you guys sort of what it looks like. So yeah, here's the front of the helmet here. It's weird, suddenly got a lot brighter on my camera. Okay, anyways. So, yep, here's the front side. So there's also this side. I'm going to show you guys all the cool artwork. You can kind of see a good front view of the helmet there. There's a little picture of Boba Fett here. Pretty sweet. Here's a side profile of the helmet, which I think looks really nice, especially with this sort of cool, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like sort of like a 3D model sort of look of it, like very CG kind of electronics sort of vibe. I'm getting like Tron vibes from that, I should say. Yeah, it's a better word to describe it. Here's the back side of it. So you can see Boba Fett with its rangefinder, the helmet with the rangefinder down, I should say, and like the little, it's got a little like scope on it almost, basically, a little targeting system. And yeah, you can definitely see the dent in the helmet too. And and here we go. Here is the top of the box, which you can see a side profile of the helmet. Reminds me a lot of this shot from Empire Strikes Back when he's going after the Millennium Falcon. And honestly, Boba Fett's just got to be my favorite Star Wars character. I mean, I think he's a lot of people's favorite Star Wars character. He was just such a silent badass, and I thought it was just really cool. Although I'm not the biggest fan of what they did with this character in the most recent show, but I'm still a big fan of the character, and I love how the helmet looks and the color scheme, with the green and red. I don't know, there's something really, really cool about it. Anyways, I'm excited to get this out of the box. I know from what I've heard online, the paint job's a bit different than the box shows, so I feel like the colors are a bit more muted on here. It might be a bit more colorful, but we'll see. So let's get this guy open and check it out. All right. So, seems like it's pretty easy to get attached. Basically, just got to line up. There's like some little clips here to line up, and they fit in right here. So let's do that. I would say when you're attaching the rangefinder, the way I got it on, just put your hand in this area here, kind of like near where the side rest, near the side of the head rest thing. And yeah, so then you just push down and make sure everything's all lined up first, and then just give it some good pressure, and it should pop right on there. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys how the little adjusting mechanism works. So you see that little wheel down there? Right in the middle there. In the middle of the headrest, or the head, kind of head holder spot. Anyways, so if you turn it clockwise, it tightens up the helmet, and if you turn it counterclockwise, it loosens up the helmet. So here, let me try to show you guys that. And there's like sort of a gear system. It's very much like a bike helmet. See, look at that. Yep, counterclockwise tight, clockwise it loosens. And also, there's also some rubber padding around here. It's definitely got more of a rubbery feel. The Mando one was a bit more like, I want to say like sort of plasticky feeling. Yeah. Okay, it's attached, so that's good. Sweet. That was a little nerve-wracking to get on there. You just have to give it some pressure, though, and make sure everything's lined up properly, and then it kind of just snaps on. And, it's got a little bit of wiggle to it, which is a little bit alarming, but, I don't know. Seems okay, so. And also, yep, here's the rangefinder. Kind of locks in place, so you can press this side button, basically, and that causes it to drop down. Now, I've heard on some reviews where it kind of broke when they just dropped it like that, so I'm trying to be careful with it. All right, so I wanted to give you guys a bit of a closer up look at the helmet, hopefully with some better colors since the lighting was a bit off at the other camera angle I had. So anyways, here it is. Check it out. You can really see some of the dirt on the front of the helmet for sure. And it's got this kind of army green color, I want to say like in the sunlight, sometimes it can look a little bit bluish, but that's more of like just the blue sunlight reflecting off of it. So it's definitely, I would say it's definitely like an army green. And the red is a bit darker. It's closer to a burgundy, I would say. Which is pretty sweet. And you can see some of the metal detailing in there, so it looks like the paint's been scratched off and there's metal underneath, which is really cool. And I've always liked how Boba Fett's helmet is like dirty, you know what I mean? And sort of a bit scuffed up. Like it's been through battle, you know. Boba Fett's actually done some done some stuff. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and you can tell here the rangefinder sort of got some like explosive dust on it. Here we go. You can see on the back there too. So kind of want to give you guys a good 360 of it. So here we go. So yeah, so here's the front of it. And you know, judging by the shape, it definitely reminds me, it looks a lot like how it did in the Empire Strikes Back, at least in terms of the shape. So that makes me think it's like quite movie accurate. Of course, I don't have like, it's not like I have the original movie prop, so I can't tell. But at least from like the dimensions and the pictures, from what I can tell, it looks very close, if not the exact same thing. Okay, so yeah, you can see there's some orange lines going across the top here, sort of like a darker orange. And yeah, you can see the red goes all the way back here, and this side sort of has like an olive sort of color. And I'm trying to see if I can get a view of that. It's a little hard to make out, but there's like some dirt sort of stuff up here. It looks like the paint's sort of worn out, and there's like a little design here. Yeah, and the cheek colors are like sort of a dark gray. Yeah, and you can see there's one red and one dark gray here, so it kind of goes with like this red and that dark gray, which I think is kind of cool. I think in the original version they were not colored. You can see the dent here, which has been painted over, but there's still scuffs there, which I think is kind of cool. And yeah, so all right, here's the back side. Shoot. So yeah, here's the back side, and you can see the red there, and you can also, this is a good spot, you can kind of see some of the damage underneath, like you know, in the Empire Strikes Back, Boba Fett's helmet's got all these scuffs on it, right? Like this, it kind of shows like the damage underneath, even though it's been repainted over. So I guess that's, you know, why it's re-armored. So kind of cool. You can see some of the history there. Yeah, and it's like that kind of goes all over the helmet. It's sort of, I feel like this is the easiest spot to make out. Maybe it's because the paint's lighter. But yeah, you can see some of it right there. Yeah, very cool. I think it's very cool. You can see what the helmet's been through in the past, which I think is awesome. And there's more sort of dirt splotches around this area, so it definitely has been in the sand. All right, and here's the side with the rangefinder. Now you can see more, yeah, now you can see the explosive sort of dust a bit more on there. Very awesome, very sick. That's what I always liked about Boba's helmet. It kind of looks like something from like World War II, I want to say. Especially with these army green colors. And yeah, and here's the rangefinder. You can see when it goes down, there's these cool little lights that go on. And I can also pop out the little rangefinder thing. So anyway, so yeah, you just want to apply some pressure on top and sort of push out. And I think it's more stable when it's up here to be able to push out the little thing, so the rangefinder. So, and I sort of like to, you know, keep a hold of it as I'm dropping it, because I've heard some reviews where it kind of broke when they did that, so I just want to avoid that. So it's best to be careful. So yeah, and you can tell here's the crosshair in here. It's pretty sweet, and I guess you could just take the cover off all the way if you wanted to. Yeah. So yeah, here, take a look, and put it on. So you can actually see the crosshair on, like, sort of through the visor. It's a little hard to make out, like, and it's a little weird because it's kind of off to the side, right? But it's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet. It's kind of like it reminds me of, like, you know, like in a camera, like when it's got that little tiny viewfinder. That's what it reminds me of. And it and so it turns off when you take it off at the top there. So yeah, honestly, I really like this helmet. I was looking at the pictures and it was tough to tell what the colors were like because depending on the lighting, it can look very different. I think this is like sort of, I think I want to say that the colors I have on the camera right now are really capturing how it actually looks though in person, at least in this lighting. And when it's in a darker environment, then it tends to look more like the one from the show because I feel like at least in the Mandalorian, he was in shadow quite a bit. Um, yeah, and I feel like I've seen some pictures where I thought the red looked really bright, but luckily, when like at least the one I got, like it seems like the red is definitely more on the muted side, which is great. And yeah, that I really like the army green. I think it looks so good on Boba's helmet. Like it's well, then again, it's like my favorite color. So yeah, and there's like a definitely like an aquamarine sort of going on at the back here, as you can tell. And yeah, this the rangefinder area has kind of got a beige color to it. It's sort of like reminds me of like the color of khaki pants, you know. um, but yeah, overall, honestly, this is a great helmet. It's if you're a Star Wars fan and you hadn't gotten the Empire Strikes Back one, you know, like me, like maybe like for me, I was like, oh, I don't need it, and then I was like, oh, I should have gotten it when it was out of when it was out of stock, and then the price is like skyrocketed now, which is insane. So this is definitely a lot. You know, it's not nearly as expensive as that one, and you're also getting like a nice looking helmet, albeit a bit cleaner looking too compared to the Empire Strikes Back version. And here, I want to show you guys what the inside looks like as well. So you can see there's some padding at the back there, um, and at the top it's sort of like it's kind of like sort of perforated, I want to say. Like there's like little tiny holes at the top there. Yeah, and you can see there's like these almost look like little speakers, which is kind of funny. Um, yeah, but there's no lights on the inside of the helmet, not like the Mando one. And yep. And so for me, what I had to do with the strap was I had to. So with the strap, you can kind of push it, like you have to give it some good pressure, right? But you can kind of pop it up. And for me, I had to undo it all the way to get it all the way to the top, so that way I could actually see out of the visor. Like when it was at the last notch, I still couldn't see out of the visor. Like my eyes were like where the cheeks are. So yeah, now that I did that, I can finally see it. Oh yeah, here's the top view, by the way, too. There's this little spot where there's like it kind of looks like sort of where the plastic was injected or something. So that's maybe something to note. It's very hard to tell though. Actually, you really don't see it when you're looking at it. You have to have it under good lighting to notice that. And yeah, so yeah, you can definitely see sort of the shape. It definitely feels older. Like I would say compared to the Mando helmet, this is definitely not as comfortable, and like the shape is a bit less ergonomic. So I think that kind of just goes to show that this is more of like a prop from like 1970. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. It feels dated, which is pretty cool. It feels like you're legit holding like something from Star Wars. You know that they would have used in the movies, which is really cool. And I think it's just super badass. He's no good to me, Dad. Oh man, it's so awesome. You can say your favorite Boba Fett lines. You know, put Captain Solo in the cargo hold. Yeah, it's really sweet. It's really sweet. I love this helmet, and it's kind of fun to wear as well. And yeah, it's really really cool looking though. It's really sweet. You look like a proper space ranger, you know, like a bounty hunter, Mandalorian. Yeah, and yeah, so very nice. It's very nice. Here's like a nice side profile view of it. Here's the other side. Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely see the dirt on the front, which I think is kind of neat. It's very worn looking. Kind of has that whole Star Wars theme, like in Episode 4, where like Tatooine is like very. I feel like they made it look very dirty and stuff. You know, like the galaxy's been lived in. Yeah, which I think is a really nice touch, and it makes it feel more. Like it came right out of the show. You know, less like a toy. Yeah. Sweet. One thing I gotta say, the helmet is a little slippery with the paint job. It's sort of like a matte finish all over, so be careful when you're carrying it. You definitely want to have a good grip on it when you're carrying it around. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sure I'll do some comparisons with the other helmets in a future video. I just wanted to really highlight and kind of show what this helmet looks like and, hopefully describe it as best as I can. Yeah, and I hope you guys got a good understanding of it if you guys are looking to get one, or, I hope you guys just enjoyed getting to check it out with me. Yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, I wanted to say thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video I make. All right. Shop Steels signing out.